Hey everybody, I am Lumumba.
And I'm Glenda.
And we are the Roberts Family 365 at the robertsfamily365.com.
Yes.
And this is our Amazing Race, season 34, episode number 6, recap.
Yes, we are in Jordan still.
Yes. Where are we in Jordan?
Amman.
Amman, and it is absolutely stunning.
Yes, it is.
Amman
Beautiful.
is a city that is 5,000 years old.
God.
It's a bit like the whole area of Jordan is so biblical. Like we were only a few hours away from Egypt.
Yeah.
We were a few hours away from the Red Sea, you know, the sea that Moses parted.
Yeah.
And we're all surrounded by ancient ruins.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we start the episode in a place where we're on top of ruins.
Yeah.
It's called the Citadel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so being there, it was just so beautiful and breathtaking. But we started off with kind of some unfortunate news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we found out through Phil that Abby and Will would no longer be competing because of COVID.
Yeah. And that was really devastating because we had taken some really good steps to prevent things like this from happening. CBS did a great job of making sure that everyone was in our own type of quarantine state.
Yeah.
But somehow during the races, someone caught COVID in their team, and they couldn't continue to race.
Yeah. So that essentially left them eliminated from the race.
Yeah, which changed up a lot about this episode, this race.
So we were still at the back of the pack going into this leg, but because of the way things had to change, we are all starting equal again.
Yeah, which was like a woo for us.
We prayed,
yes.
we prayed for a restart. Literally. Because it's so hard to continue to kind of push when you're at the back of the pack the whole time.
Yeah.
So
we needed good news.
We needed a reset.
Yes.
So this was a reset that we prayed for.
Mm-hmm. And boy, do we try to take advantage of it.
We tried. We tried.
Yeah. So the stakes though were that since a team was already eliminated, depending on the order that you finished at the pit stop today, was the order that you would start the next leg.
Yeah.
And depending on that, you would be in group 1, group 2, or group 3. And each
group 4. So actually it was 4 groups. You had group 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
So the 4th group, which is the only one team is in the 4th group.
Yeah.
The 4th group starts 45 minutes behind the 1st group.
Yeah, because all of the groups are staggered by 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So we are not trying to be last.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we head out immediately as soon as he gives a, woo, let's go, the world is waiting. Yeah. And we take off running to the beat of these Jordanian drums. Yeah. And we find our first route info, which is, and I have to read this, it is find the Macbeth Kazanet bookstore and take off on foot. Now that's important because before in a previous episode we took off on foot when we weren't supposed to.
So we read the directions carefully, and it was clearly stated that we had to take off on foot.
Yeah, crystal clear. I gave the direction to Glenn, like, here, babe, read these. Make sure I don't mess it up.
Well, I will say so. From the time we started the race up until this point, we've learned so much about each other. We have communicated a lot better, and we are making a lot of progress in our relationship.
In our relationship,
you don't get to see those that dynamic, but I feel like we've made a lot of progress at this point.
Yeah. I'm learning how to listen to my wife better.
Yeah.
Believe that. So we take off and we ask security guards and they help us out. Now we're at the top of a hill, the Citadel is. Yeah. And they say, okay, you got to go down this hill. Mm-hmm. So we immediately, all the teams take off zigzagging. It wasn't important to us to have to leave necessarily first.
Right.
We wanted to make sure we left correctly. We were going in the right direction.
Very, very much so.
Yeah, and it turned out okay. Once we got down to the bottom of the hill, there was a lot of running around.
Yeah. We separated from the pack too, which also I believe helped us.
It helped us a lot because people went that way, but we went the way that we felt our directions gave us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we ended up finding the bookstore, the Macbeth Kazanet bookstore.
Yeah.
regardless of the fact that none of the signs were in English letters, all of it was Arabic.
Yeah.
So we had to ask a lot, asking people, "You speak English? Do you speak English?" I was even really sensitive with talking to women, me myself, because it was a Muslim culture, and so I would step back, and my wife would step up, and she would ask the women for the directions. So I thought that was pretty
very mindful of my husband, because he is very mindful.
So we got to the actual bookstore in place number 5.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got there pretty quickly. And the good thing about it was we got to choose, and between it was step by step or it was letter by letter. Step by step was a traditional dance, and we got to get in a costume, the second costume change that we got to have during the season, and we were learning a traditional dance for marriage.
Yeah,
and it included a sword, as you guys saw. Babe, how was it dancing with a sword?
Scary.
Yeah.
People were walking past as we were practicing, going, I'm like, okay, sorry. Like, we all were like nearly cutting people's ears off.
Oh my god, yeah. I have to say, like, the heat was on me too. Like, I was sweating beads, and it just wasn't because of the heat.
Yeah.
And then the other one was letter by letter. Now, why did we choose step by step instead of letter by letter?
So we were traumatized because we did not do well with head of the class during the mega leg. So we decided, because we did do pretty decent, we're not professional dancers, but we did pretty decent on the dance during the second leg. Mm-hmm. So we thought, okay, well, let's try to do something that we know or have familiarity with, that we know could possibly like give us an edge.
Yeah. And we weren't trying to learn a new language,
Yeah, we were really traumatized. Didn't know that the alphabet would have been a lot easier.
Oh my goodness.
We saw the different teams and like, we could have definitely got through that a lot faster than we did the dance.
Yeah. Well, in hindsight, it's 2020, right?
Hindsight is always 2020.
Because
that's one thing. If you are going on The Amazing Race, understand you got to add the element of pressure and add the element of heat. All of these factors go into whether or not you're going to do well, even if it's something that you usually do well with. Yeah.
So we get there right after Aubrey and David, dancers. Yeah. And we're like, listen, if we just work our hardest, we can get this right. Let's just stay and do what we got to do. The other dancers, meanwhile, show up. Louisa Michelle and Quentin and Maddie. So we're practicing with the dances. Yeah. And, and we see Aubrey and David and their escort, they do it once. They don't get it the first time.
Yeah.
And then we decide we go out.
Yeah.
And then we didn't get it the first time.
No.
And how was the dance? Actually, the dancing.
What do you mean, how was the dancing?
Like, how was the dancing? Like, how did it feel dancing the first
time? I felt
time?
okay because the teacher is literally telling us that we are okay, that we look okay. So I'm literally going by what the teacher is saying because I'm thinking I'm doing it right. But clearly I wasn't doing it right because we kept getting told no, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times. Then we get to like the 4th or the 5th time and the band takes a break. They literally take a 15-minute break. Mind you, we are in a freaking race.
Yeah.
So the band literally sits down for 15 minutes.
They're like,
and takes a break.
They said.
So the dancer, all of the professional dancers, they come and go. They basically come and go.
Listen, they are real There's a difference. See, we learn really quickly. There's a difference between dancing and karaoke and professional pit bull, LA Rams, bachata. They're totally different. Choreographers.
So they come and go.
Yes.
We are still there.
1, 2 tries.
8th time, we finally get it. And like literally, we're like, what are we doing wrong? Because again, the teacher is telling us that what we're doing is right, but we're not. I'm not as smooth. I'm hopping or whatever.
Yeah. But the thing was that they didn't tell her they didn't tell her that she was hopping until the 6th try.
Yeah.
It was the 6th try, and it was like, oh my goodness. goodness.
Yeah.
So by that time it was like, man, you could have told us this earlier. But anyway, water under the bridge. It's what it was.
It's what it was.
We ended up leaving the dance challenge. We got there second. We ended up leaving there fourth amongst the group.
Yeah.
And then
so we have another roadblock, which is called what? Broken carded.
Broken carded.
At this point, we are very mindful that Abby and Will have been eliminated.
Yeah.
So we're playing the game, and we know that each person on the team only has a certain amount of roadblocks that they are allowed to do.
Yeah.
So we say, okay, Glenda, we're not being eliminated today. So go ahead and do the roadblock, even though I could tell from the description that it was something that I was not strong in. Yeah. Hindsight, I definitely would have let Lumumba do the cart because he would have killed it. There were so many people who took a lot longer than I was surprised at the people who took longer, because I'm thinking they're much stronger than me, so Lumumba definitely would have been killing it on the cart.
Well, I mean, that's another hindsight type of thing. We made the best decision we could for what information we had. At this point, we had already done 5 roadblocks, and I had done 3, Glenda had done 2, and we had 5 left. If I had done that roadblock, then Glenda would have been left with 3 out of the next 5 roadblocks that we had, which meant that it may be more dicey. We wanted more options and kind of even it out.
Yeah.
So just by doing that, we put ourselves in the best situation that we could for me to do as many more roadblocks and keep it balanced out for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, so we were still playing the game, but, I definitely would have, hindsight, had Lumumba do the cart, because we would have not come in last had he done that. But, again, I did it because we knew we weren't going to be eliminated. But it was difficult because I definitely felt like, we had done so well, but we had just had so many, like a series of mistakes that we just could not overcome at that point. So it was kind of wearing on me mentally and emotionally. Yeah,
and I wanted to talk about that too. There's a lot of pressure going on, during this time period. We had been behind, a couple of the legs. And so, at this point, it's getting really emotional.
Yeah.
We're feeling pressure. My wife is feeling like she's disappointing me. And just to hear that was breaking my heart, because she was doing so great. And I was putting Glenda out there. Like, I was like, babe, I was like, well, let's do the amazing race. Let's go.
Yeah. And this is definitely Lumumba's dream. Totally something I turned down twice and then decided to go ahead and do it because, you're married. You want to make sure you're supporting your spouse's dreams. So, and it was great. It was a great learning experience, but going through it.
Yeah, but as we're doing it in the actual racing, you're giving it your all. And just seeing my wife give it her all, and then for the result to be her feeling, like she's let me down, like that hurt, that hurt. And so I really wanted her to see at this moment that, babe, just the fact that you're giving it your best, is what matters. It wasn't the place that we came in this leg. Both of us knew that this wasn't her strength. We were doing it really to preserve, one of the roadblocks that I could do.
Yeah.
At this point. Now, if Will and Abby had been there, like my wife said,
wouldn't have. We literally, after we got through the dance, we literally said, only because they're not here am I doing this card challenge.
Yeah.
So people know that.
Yeah. I had never seen my wife swing a hammer in her life. So at this point, it was like, you know what, babe, let's just get through it. But I do want to tell you guys something you will only hear here. So while my wife was working on her cart and doing such a great job, she had finished up and a little boy had come to help her as we were taking the cart away. And so something happened, and I think something may have fell out of the cart or fell off the cart. And so he was disappointed. And I was like, okay, kid, come on, let's kind of keep it moving. But there were other people around and other little kids, and they got mad at him because he came up to us. And so the little boys started fighting.
And And I do not see any of this because I'm so focused on the card.
Yeah, she's focused on the card and the race. And the little boy start fighting. I'm like,
now, why is the little boy fighting?
I think that, no, the other little kid was upset that he had like kind of interfered or come and approached us. And so then like they're having a real tussle. And so then somebody else in the park comes up and grabs the boys and like kind of squares them away. And at that point, I'm like, look, this is not, I don't know anything about Jordan. So babe, let's get our stuff and get the heck up out of here.
So he was thinking he was messing up my card.
He thought he messed up your card. He didn't. It made me feel so bad, you know. But I was like, listen, I'm smart enough to know, don't get involved in something that you don't know. Let them figure it out.
Let the people handle it.
Especially not in another country. Then end up, we not trying to turn the Amazing Race to Locked Up Abroad. So I'm just saying, this ain't that show. So next stop is the pit stop. Woo! And it is at the Roman Nymphaeum. Now, again, this is another 5,000-year-old structure, really ancient, really beautiful.
Yes.
And by the time we got there,
we were happy we were going to the pit stop.
This was it. Listen, we were ready to go. So this was the order that we got there. So first it was Luis and Michelle. Great job. Oh my God, they're
killing it.
To first place. Then it's Aubrey and David. Then after that, we have Quentin and Maddie. Then we have Derek and Claire, Marcus and Michael, Emily and Molly, and then it's the rubbers. Oh my goodness. When we got there, there was a lady there who sang a beautiful operatic piece for us.
And I don't remember any of that.
Don't remember none of it. Listen, we were just happy.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah. We were happy to still be alive. So, that we left it on another cliffhanger.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So we're going to France, our fifth country.
Fifth country. You guys, we are still amped by this point. Yes. So you guys check us out next time. And where can they check us out?
RobertsFamily365.com.
Yeah.